and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and I'm going to read your tea leaves for you tonight. This is a horoscope for Pisces. If your solar, lunar, ascendant/rising sign is in Pisces, this is a message for you. You have found the right place. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. Okay, tap, 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 and then we lift. Let's see what we have for you, Pisces. Now, if this is your first time watching, thank you so much for joining me. If you're a returning viewer, thank you for coming back. Thank you for supporting the channel. I really hope that you're resonating with the messages and getting something out of them. If you would go ahead and like, subscribe, leave a comment, tell me how I'm doing, tell me what I'm doing wrong. You tell me what you're seeing in the cup, what kind of formations, am I missing anything? Do you have different takes on the symbols? Any of that, anything, just tell me how you're doing. I would love to hear from you. Let's see, I am having such a hard day getting my my words together. I was talking to my sister earlier and I think I am spent on talking a little bit, but we'll figure it out together. Okay, let's see. So I used my other kind of tea today, which is it's called Buckingham Palace Garden Mix or something like that. The leaves are a little different, and that there's also these, and I want to say they're called blue cornflowers, I believe, and they're pretty. These ones have these. I think these are the, usually I use like a tea mix that is black tea from China. And these ones are Indian black tea leaves. So they kind of look different when they have steeped. I want to see if I can get this a little bit. There we go. Maybe that's going to help. Okay. So now I'm talking. I see a dog right here. Okay, Pisces. This is a cute little dog. It reminds me of like Toto. I don't know what kind of, it's some kind of terrier, I know. But they're such a cute and like welcoming little puppy. So this is going to be in a placement on the cup that is not about you, who I'm reading for, but somebody who is involved in the situation. So I feel like you have, I hope this doesn't, okay. I feel like you have somebody in your life who is very loyal. And I don't think this is a romantic thing. I think this is a friend. And I think that they're just really close with you. I think that there's just this feeling of them being there for you, really. When you need them, you can count on them. And that's always amazing to have that kind of friendship. It's pretty rare in life. So let's kind of turn it and see if there's anything else about that particular formation there. I see it kind of attached to this one. It almost looks like it's, let's see. Okay, so it goes, if I go this way, this one kind of, it really looks like the outline of a butterfly to me. Which is interesting because I never have seen in my cup kind of a formation where it's just it's the outline. So I wonder, what does that mean? Usually, you know, we see it where this one kind of looks like a little heart, right? So, and this is not the outline. This is, and let me see if I'm getting this. Yeah, there you go. You can see that. This one is formed with the actual lead. It's a full, there's no hole in the middle. It's not the outline. So this one is the outline of a butterfly. And I wonder if that means this is something that is in the process of happening. It's not all filled in yet. It's coming. You're in the metamorphosis, right? And I think this is really has to do with you, okay? And I think that, well, we know the sign of a butterfly is kind of the completion of a transition, a completion of growth. Although we're never done growing, are we? But it is the end of the cycle. It's probably the peak, right? The point where everything has come together, everything is aligned in the universe, and you're supposed to be right there. You've done all the work, and there you are, right? So I think that you are close to that. I think that the most important thing, and that I think that this symbol really represents that, this not fully formed, but kind of the outline, really represents that this is really about the journey for you, okay? It's not just about where you're going. It's not about your destination. I know this is kind of cliche, but it's true. You know, it really is. It wouldn't be a cliche if it wasn't true. I think that really you just have been working on yourself, evolving as a being. I think I get this impression that you have really kind of turned away from, you know, the more general collective chaos of the world. I think that you have found that the answer for you, at least right now, has been to work on yourself and to find some peace in that self-work rather than get all caught up in the turmoil of the things going on around you, which is amazing. I think, you know, it's easy for us to live in fear. It's easy to get addicted to this, the fear machine that is media, social media, you know, just people chattering about all of the terrible things going on in the world. And I think, you know, that's valid. Obviously, there are some really awful things going on all the time, everywhere. But, you know, you have to decide, are you going to live immersed in that 24 hours a day, or are you going to look into your own life and do some self-work and enjoy, you know, the good days that you have? Because life is so short and fleeting. We're not always going to be in good health. We're not always going to, you know, have all the things lined up that we need. And some days are going to be hard. Some days are going to feel like a catastrophe. Sometimes things just get out of hand in our personal lives. And so when we are fortunate and privileged enough to have everything that we need and feel content and have the time and energy to focus on ourselves and do the things that we want to do for us, that it would be such a pity to let that all be ruined because we want to stay plugged into the TV or the news, or, you know, just watching stuff that is terrifying, because it's all terrifying. And I think that my point is, after this long ramble here, is that you have come to a point in your life where I think you really are turning away from that stuff. I think you're just burnt out on it, and I get that feeling. And I think that these little dots, they're kind of meeting up into make this formation, and I think that things are really coming together. I get this feeling of just, you know, everything kind of lining up in your favor right now, in the favor of you feeling more put together, more things are more understandable, manageable. Your troubles are things that are within your control. Okay, and I don't mean that you are having troubles necessarily, but that the things that are troubled or little, are little things that you can work on, things that you do have the ability to change. Okay, and you're not focusing on the stuff that is out of your control, which is really hard to do. Now, I do see this heart, and I had mentioned that. And I think, and it's interesting because I see this, this butterfly, it is attached to this puppy. And I said this, it doesn't seem like a romantic thing to me. And maybe it still isn't, but I see this heart, and it's a small heart, but it is definitely a heart. And I see this all kind of, this little constellation of different formations kind of all coming together, and I see that there's a lot of love there, and I feel like this person has been a really important influence in your life. I think that they've been supportive. I think that at times you maybe have even drawn some strength from them, and maybe they have helped you kind of see the light to some degree and how to kind of escape the cycles that you were in before, so that you can kind of make the space to start working on the things that you want to. Okay. And I think that friendship, that relationship, whatever it is, I think it is super important. And I think that it's something that you should definitely, if it's within your power, put time and energy into upkeeping that friendship, because I think it's important for both of you. And now up here on the edge, on the rim here, which is usually reserved for kind of the more magical elements of life, the metaphysical, the spiritual, the realm where you and God meet, or whatever, the divine meet, the universe meets with you. Okay. Now I see a J. So there's something in and I would usually say, oh, it's a person with a J name. I don't know. It could be a person. It could be an archetype. We obviously know that somebody like Jesus is an archetype, or a person, a holy person that is important to a lot of people. Maybe somebody like that, or it could be something else, just a J that will within the pattern synchronicities of your life, something to look out for that starts with a J. Okay. And let's see over here. So, this one, I'm going to turn it just to see. So, on this angle, I'm seeing that this looks like a person holding a fish. And this is again in that realm. It has its foot in the physical, but it is transcending into the metaphysical, the spiritual, the higher consciousness. I can't say that word right now. My goodness, I'm having really just a difficult day with my words. Let's see. So, we're holding a fish. And for me, well, you're Pisces, so this is definitely, has to do with somebody of the water. And somebody of the water, I see, I don't know. It seems like, I I want to say that it is like a patron of the water. A patron. I'm thinking, okay, this is like somebody like trying to take up to capture, but it doesn't seem like that. It seems like almost ushering. Like I get this like visual of somebody ushering, like picking up from the water, holding, and then placing somewhere else, kind of ushering in a new time. And I think it's interesting because I feel like you've had the one that was a person that was represented by the dog. But I feel like there's also somebody important that is in the spirit, in your spiritual realm. And I think the friend that is the dog is definitely has helped you arrive to the self-work. And I think that maybe you like have conversations about it, but this is like a mundane, in your mundane life, in your physical life, like somebody at work or, you know, some friend that you've had for a long time and you kind of chit chat about things. But this other person, I almost wonder, I get the impression that like, is this a minister, like a pastor? Maybe it's somebody, if you maybe are into esoteric work or occult work, it's like somebody who is an initiator or is initiated and who is, I'm not going to say they're initiating you. I don't think it's as formal as that necessarily, but I think it's somebody who has the air of them as being a holy person or at least an initiated person, something like that. And I feel like they're here to walk with you, to help you to some degree. Maybe find some texts that are important to you, rituals, maybe through conversation, furthering your interests, your understandings, something like that. And I think that this is not the same person as the dog person, but I think that this is really important. And I think just generally for you, has just been a really big time where you have just felt the desire to really just get into something. Like I feel like you're really looking for something to not just believe in. It's not just like you're looking for like a new religion or something like that. I think that you really are looking for answers. You're looking for understandings, like not just somebody to tell you, oh, this is what this book says, this is why we believe this, this is what you should believe. I think that you are looking for somebody to help you find ways to get to understandings, to get to answers, but they're only answers that will be available to you through your own experience. So you're going to have to go through these processes to get to these answers. You're going to have to ask the questions, maybe find people who are kind of like shepherds in your life. They can't give you the answers though. They can only help you find the experiments, operations, the rituals, identify things going on in your life, help you identify things going on in your life that will get you to a point where those answers start to reveal themselves to you. Okay, so that's why I say this person reminds me of I get this word usher in my head, okay, and really an initiator. And as an aside, I just always want to say nobody's, I feel anyways that nobody can give you answers to anything. They can only help you find techniques, find loose systems, the exoteric properties of a system to find your own answers. If anybody says that they have the answers for you, then I don't think, you know, that person is somebody that we should listen to. Okay? And that's just, I also have to say that I'm just a very suspicious person, okay? And not just suspicious, I really, really do not like being told what to believe or think or anything like that. So I like somebody to hold my hand a little bit while I figure things out, but I can't be told. Have that defiant spirit. Okay, so this one right here, it's the same one, but it's on its side. And I just am trying to figure out, it really looks like a rabbit jumping through, but it also looks like it has something on its back. But I think it's really just, I really picture like a rabbit jumping through the snow. We have lots of snow here, so everything is in the snow in my mind right now. My psyche is very winter-centric right now, very, you know, up in the north, the northern tundra up here. So I think that this just reminds me of like a quiet night, cold, and this movement for survival. And I really think that it goes along with this whole theme for me of this reading, right, that we've had so far, is just this real need for deep change that has really just been coming up for you. And I don't think that this is like just a little, you know, a thing that is fleeting, you know, although I don't think this is always going to be everything that you're thinking about all the time. Like, this is your life. Like, you have, you know, joined a cloister or something, and you're gonna, you know, leave society and only focus on the spiritual. Although, if that's what you did, cool, man. I'm jealous a little bit. But no, I think that this is really something that you feel you have to do. I feel like you've tried so many things, you know, to kind of feel some kind of value in life, some kind of meaning, something tangible to just be like, okay, this is why I wake up in the morning. I feel, you know, there's been waves of the existential crisis, let's say, in your life, okay? And I think that during this most recent one, you just really have decided that you need to look for something for yourself, and only for yourself, some kind of deeper meaning, some kind of lasting relationship with something divine, okay? For the universe to reveal something to you, for you, you know, something special, something very special. And, you know, I don't know that everybody has this awakening, I guess you could call it, or it's almost like a desperation, you know, something, you need something, right? And I fully identify with this, because I wouldn't be doing this kind of thing, you know, doing readings and obsessively studying symbols and mythologies and whatever, old stories, old ways, new ways, different kinds of magic and esoteria. I wouldn't do that if I didn't need that same thing. I didn't have that same gaping void inside of me. And so I understand it, but I think that this has really been a thing for you lately, and I think that this time around, I don't think this is the first time you felt this, and I think this time around, though, it's been really important for you to find something that is not just like I said, fleeting. And the way that we have any kind of lasting effect on ourselves and our change, our transmutation, is by creating something for ourselves. You know, we can't expect something to stick around when it's like been pre-made for us. Okay, and just, it's hard. You can't live somebody else's truth, I guess. Okay, so now this one looks like a little, it looks like a little kid, maybe a child, and it looks like it's just kind of bending over and looking deeply at these little pieces. And I picture like my daughter in the garden or outside looking at bugs and flowers and that kind of thing. And I think that this is just a true and genuine, pure kind of curiosity. I think that it's awakening in you during this process. I think that, you know, to put it in perspective as an adult, is something akin to being on like Wikipedia at like 11:30 at night, going down a rabbit hole and just having this like, it's not a compulsive rabbit hole, but just really being so interested that you're digging around, looking at this and that, figuring out, you know, what this means and what that means, and, you know, within the context of this larger spiritual journey that you're on. And I think that there's just this sense of awe going on, and it's a beautiful thing. And I think also having that kind of energy is one of the only things that's going to keep you going. You know, if it feels annoying and tedious and like work, you're not going to stick to it. Okay, and then down here, all of these look like little fairies to me, okay? And I just picture these little fairies kind of in the same garden of curiosity. I feel like there's an element of mischief almost. I think that there have been times where I think the understandings you've come to have shifted on you a little bit. The larger the context gets, the more likely it is to kind of change. But it's in a playful way. I think that you're enjoying this kind of these different scenarios, and how do I say it? The different the different ways that you're connecting to your self mythology is changing. I think that now that you're really looking into these spiritual, religious, maybe paranormal, superstitious, whatever it is, all these different things that you're looking into. And I think you're probably widely researching and reading about and looking for inspiration, and those things are coming to you, and some of them are sticking, some of them are not. But the more you are applying them to your own experience, they kind of shift as you add more, you know, more sources and more, you know, the context changes, the understanding changes, right? So I kind of see like almost, I think it's like, I get this idea that you're very fluid in your, we'll say quote unquote beliefs. Okay, so I don't think that you're becoming like a dogmatic person. I don't think that in this situation there is one truth. I see just kind of this interesting ability to perceive things from different perspectives, and that is so rare. And I think that is one of the big things that people love about you, is that you just have this ability to evolve your understanding, the way that you communicate, you don't, when you look at a situation, you try to look at it from a lot of different perspectives. Okay, so you don't just take the surface level thing. And I think that's so important. And I think that, like I said, that's such a unique and rare thing. A lot of people are afraid to not, to be wrong, or to have cognitive dissonance, like two seemingly opposing understandings, right? And when you get to a point where you're okay with that, it gives you a lot of room to grow and to be many different things. Okay, and let's see, what do we have here? I see this little bird here. I see this pretty little grouping. I feel like and maybe I didn't. This little grouping right here, it's really pretty. And I wonder if, this is interesting, I wonder if in this process of you kind of giving up, and I feel like you've really given up a lot of media lately, and maybe even taken a break from social media, media as in like the news, watching a lot of TV or movies or whatever. I feel like you've kind of given up that to some extent on purpose. And I feel like you've kind of gotten away from social media a little bit, but I feel like it has given you the space to have some really like deep, authentic, wholesome kind of interactions, and just renewed experiences with people who are in your life. I think that just kind of all the BS-y stuff has kind of fallen away to some degree, and that you've really been getting back to having really meaningful relationships and exchanges with people, because you're not on the social media stuff as much, I feel like. So you have to be very intentional about getting a hold of people, making plans. It's not all this passive feeling like you're in other people's lives, even though you don't really talk to them. You just see kind of what they post and, feel like you're experiencing each other, but it's so passive that it's not, it's just kind of the illusion of that. The other thing I see is, it looks like to me that you have been spending some time with like your mother, grandmother, somebody who is like a matriarch in your family maybe, or in your life. And that has been nice. I feel like you're really connected with them. And the bird, I feel like I get this like visual, this impression that your heart is just singing right now. I feel like there's a lightness. I feel like this time of year is hard for lots of people, but you have been navigating it with a light heart, and your soul is just feeling good. I feel like this is probably, you have given yourself the ultimate gift this holiday season, which is just wellness, right? Just growth and healing, and just time to think, turning off all that noise, the background noise. And I think that's really wonderful. And so yeah, I think that's it, Pisces. I think that this has been a great read. As far as, it's been super positive. I think that you are definitely somebody that is very sensitive, and I won't say easily influenced, but you take on the energies around you. So it's wonderful to see within the reading that you have been very, very decisive about who and what you are allowing into your space. And I think that is, changing everything for you. It is really, really empowering. I feel like there's just a wholeness and just a lightheartedness going on, and that's great. So, that is the reading for today, Pisces. I am always so honored to bring these messages to you. I appreciate the time that you spend with me with the video. If you're interested in watching your other signs, so like if you are a solar Pisces and you're like a lunar, I don't know, Libra or something, go ahead and watch the Libra video, and that maybe will give you a more dynamic view of the overall picture of the happenings of your times in life and all of that. If you are interested in finding me on Facebook, it is Ula Tea Leaf Readings. If you are on Instagram, it's Ula of the Tea. If you would like to book a private reading, you can email me. The email is in the description. Please think about liking, subscribing to the channel, leaving a comment, even sharing this wherever. I know you haven't been using social media as much, or so the cup says. So, but if you are at some point and you feel like sharing, please do. Any kind of engagement helps me get in the algorithm, and that helps me get the video to more people, which is awesome. Other than that, yeah, I just want to say thank you again. This is Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and I hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching this. Please take care of yourself.